I bought an eBay engine for this 2004 Toyota RAV4. I bought this car knowing that it has a blown engine for $1,000, and since the engine sounds like this, I decided to tow it home myself. And after getting over my anxiety, fear, self-doubt, and questionable life choices, I finally got this thing home and on the driveway. And for the first time since I bought it, I could finally take a look at it in the daylight and see everything that I couldn't see in the dark. But if you've been following along since the beginning, you'll know the blown engine is the biggest problem that I've got to deal with. So I went with the cheapest and fastest option, which was buying this engine from LKQ online on eBay for $2,320 Canadian. Was this the biggest mistake of this project, or am I gonna have a running RAV at the end of this? Let's find out. Hey guys, so the engine for the RAV4 has arrived at the freight terminal, so I'm gonna go now and pick up the engine. So I don't know what their loading situation is like. So I'm gonna get my pickup truck, the Tundra, and I'm gonna hook up my utility trailer and hope they can put it on the utility trailer. So it's only about 18 to 24 inches high because my crane hasn't come yet. So getting it off the trailer, I'm not sure how I'm gonna do that yet because I wanna get it inside the garage and not have to leave it out here. The crane should be here Monday, but I wanna start tearing into this thing this weekend. So we'll get that engine into the garage here today. Let's go. So I have never freighted an engine or anything this big before. Pretty much all the way across the country of Canada, came from Ontario. So I'm a little concerned about what kind of state it's been in. The freight service that shipped it doesn't exactly have the best Google reviews, mostly on the customer service end of things. So I think I'm gonna have to be really conscious of like doing a good inspection of this motor before I receive it. Hopefully it's been crated and packaged well, and I don't see anything wrong with it. So, but honestly, I don't know if I really know exactly everything that I'm looking at here. So, fingers crossed that this thing is in okay shape and we can get it home without any issues, and that it's gonna be a good runner. So, here we go. And there it is, finally got my eyes on the answer to all my problems. A used, new-to-me 2AZ FE engine ready to come home. The warehouse worker kicked me out and told me to wait outside, so I did that and filmed him loading it on the trailer. Yeah, just a little past the axle would probably be good. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, sweet, thanks so much. Well, there we go. The engine is officially in my possession. I just got to get her strapped down and back home. And we'll probably just have to tarp it till my crane comes. I don't know if I'm going to get that thing out of there without the engine hoist. So, here we go. So it's pretty hard to see what is and what isn't here on this engine. I see some of these hoses are cut, some extra clips. There's still some sensors in there. The plugs are in there. Dipsticks in there. I have no idea what kind of shape this engine is, but I didn't want to unwrap it here. So cut harness, but I'm not gonna need any of that stuff. So I think we're ready to get it home. Well, there it is. I got it home. I think I need to get an engine stand and probably wait for the crane to show up before I try to get this thing off of the trailer. So I'm just gonna cover it with a tarp, and I gotta wait for the crane because I need it to get into the garage before I start tearing the RAV apart, because I need to be able to move the RAV. And I guess that's not to say that I couldn't push it if I started dismantling everything, but really just need that crane now, so not in too much of a rush, but yeah, we'll get this thing covered up. All right, the rest of my crane has finally arrived from Ontario. It took about an extra week to get here. I don't know if you've seen the news, but Toronto got 60 centimeters of snow yesterday, so I'm glad there wasn't any major snow delays with getting it here, but it is finally here. So the next step in my process is to get that crane put together so I can get that engine off the trailer and in the garage, so that when I take the battery out of the RAV4, it's not blocking the pathway in the garage. There's the crane. That thing is heavy. So to get this job done, I did have to buy an engine hoist on Amazon. I paid about $300 Canadian, and it showed up at my house in 2 boxes. The first box showed up the next day, and the other half of it shipped from across the country and showed up a week later. And so we got it out on the floor and checking out to make sure all the pieces there, and a quick tidy, and we'll take a look at how we put this thing together. Well, at first glance, it looks like everything's there. This one's missing a screw for one of the casters, but it's got the nut for it. So missing 1 bolt, not bad, I guess. And this plate here is a little bent. Oh, just lost another bolt down there. Actually, that extra nut is for the bolt that fell out of here. I didn't notice that it was sitting in there. It must have been inside the wheel or something. So it looks like everything's here and time to assemble this thing. So like I said, it came in 2 boxes. This first piece with the main frame showed up a week earlier, which was a little weird. There are no instructions for assembling this thing together. Should be pretty straightforward, but there are some different sized casters. I'm not sure where each of those goes, but back at it. So I looked at the picture on Amazon and I can see that the small caster wheels go in the middle. So that's where they're gonna go, and I think that's the first thing to connect. Whew, all right, that crane is put together. The most tedious part about putting that together was the casters, but it is ready to go, I think. It was fairly straightforward to get it together, and I think it will do the trick. A little weird that these parts are bent. Not sure if you can see how these are bent, but I just followed the diagram. So with that, the crane's ready to go and the engine is ready to come into the garage so I can take the plastic off and finally take a look at what's going on under there and see what kind of condition is in. I really have no idea, even at this point, if this engine's going to be any good. But with the eBay warranty, 30 days guarantee, if the item shows up not as described, you can get your money back. But, I mean, there's so many variables. It might look okay on the outside and something terrible could be going on the inside. I just really don't know. So let's get this thing in the garage and take a closer look at it. engine finally in the garage, I decided to quickly check and make sure that it cranks over at least. And it does turn over fairly smooth. I don't have any concerns there, but I think this inspection was a little premature. Well, I got the engine in the garage here now, and I'm just taking a look at it, and it looks like there's some damage, and I'm kind of worried about the damage on it. Let's go take a look. So you can see this aluminum on the block is just totally smushed. I just sprayed it with some brake cleaner to clean it up. I looked on the RAV right now, and there's nothing that goes in this hole here. But I don't know if I should be worried about that. And if I'm being completely honest, I very much was worried about that. I don't know if there's cracks in the block, or if there's gonna be leaks, or if there's something important that goes there. I honestly have no idea. And really, I was concerned just about the entire state of this motor. Well, I'm kind of freaking out about the damage on this engine. If I had known it was there, I wouldn't have bought this engine for the price that I paid, $2,300 Canadian. So I've reached out to the seller to ask what they'd like to do about it, and I sent them some photos. And honestly, I don't think I want to install it in this condition. It looks like there might be a small little crack. I'll throw some close-up pictures on it here just so you can see. But yeah, I'm not sure what to do at this point. I don't think it's worth putting this engine in, to be honest, for the price I paid. The other engine doesn't even look like it has any oil leaks, so I'm like wondering if I should just fix it. So, I don't know, not great. Alright guys, so I've been in contact with the seller on eBay for this engine, and no questions asked. I sent them pictures of the damage, and they are happy to send it back. So this engine is getting shipped back. I'm getting a full refund, including shipping, but now I've got to get it loaded on the trailer again, strapped back down to the pallet, and taken to a commercial place where they can pick it up, because they don't want to pick it up from my residential address, because as you've probably seen, I'm on a dead end and it's a tight road, and they require that a semi-truck can reasonably access. So I'm taking this to a great company up in North Saanich called Sea Wings. I've used them in the past a lot for importing goods from the US. They receive packages in Blaine, Washington, and for a totally reasonable price, bring it over to Victoria at the airport where I can pick it up. So instead, this time I'm just using them as a freight forwarding service for $50 flat rate. I'm gonna drop off this engine there today, and the freight company is going to come pick it up tomorrow. And then I'll presumably get my refund, and I can make another decision on what I'm gonna do about this engine. I've been working on a few options. I was looking again at importing a JDM motor from Seattle, from Portland, from Calgary, Alberta, from Ontario. At this point in time, I think ordering a JDM motor from a Canadian seller is probably going to be my best bet. I'm probably looking at a little bit more money to get that engine here, but it'll be a lower kilometer engine, and I think that that'll probably be the way to go and the least risky way to go. So we're gonna get this packed up and taken to Sea Wings, and I'll let you know what I decide to do with the other engine. I might even start taking the RAV4 engine out just to see what's going on before pulling the trigger. Maybe there's a slight chance I could just do the rod bearings. Maybe the crank is okay. I don't know, so I'm gonna have to do a bit more research before I make the final decision, but I will keep you posted. Alright, back on the trailer, and I'm just gonna do a quick video inspection of everything again, just to document how it looks before I strap it down and cover it up. So really getting a good look at it out here in the daylight, I am happy with the choice that I've made to send this back. There has to be a better solution out there. Not sure what that is yet, but with the damage there, this heavy oil contamination, these broken pieces on here, this engine has just been abused. And I really don't feel comfortable installing it. So back it's going, and good riddance. Alright, well this busted 2AZ FE is ready to go back to the seller. Let me know in the comments if you would have kept this engine and fixed it and used it as is. I don't know if it's any good. I thought it looked like there was a bit of a crack. But we're gonna get this one out of here, and I'm gonna make a decision on what to do for a replacement engine. This was totally unexpected, but I guess it's just a part of the process. I don't think it's supposed to be this difficult just to find a decent engine to replace this one in the RAV4 with. But what can you do? That's part of the risk of buying old crap and trying to fix it. And honestly, it starts to give me a sense of why sometimes mechanic shops have your car for way longer than you think they're going to. Because I can't help but wonder if they go through this exact same kind of process trying to find parts from wreckers to fix our vehicles. And they're doing that for, you know, possibly dozens of vehicles a day. I'm not sure, but what a logistical nightmare this can be. However, on the flip side, no worries about buying an engine on eBay. This one came from LKQ Online, and they've been very good to deal with, very responsive every day, giving me updates, having solutions. They didn't try to push back on my item not described at all. So it was a pretty stress-free purchase, and I wish there was more of these available in Canada, but I can't find one, and I'm a little hesitant to order one outside of Canada coming from the US. So thanks for watching this video. We're gonna continue in the next video once I make a decision on what I'm gonna do. And maybe you can let me know in the comments below. Order a JDM one from Canada, take this one out and try to fix it. I'm not sure. What would you do? I'm open to suggestions. So make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, turn on those notifications so you don't miss out on the next video of this saga of trying to get this RAV4 back on the road for a DIY backyard mechanic. All right, we'll see you in a bit. This busted motor, and wondering what I'm going to do next. And one of the main reasons I'm videotaping at this point is because I did not want the seller coming back saying, hey, something must have happened while this engine was in your possession. So I cannot stress this enough, document everything. Alright, I just dropped off the trailer at Sea Wings. Shout out to them, they're amazing. I'm so grateful that that business exists here in Victoria. I've used them so many times. But what a relief, I'm glad that's gone and out of my hands, and honestly, so much less stress dealing with an actual freight forwarding company instead of trying to logistically be a logistician and get the truck to come to my house or whatever. I called a couple other freight companies and they were just like, no, we can't do that, we can't do that. So grateful that this place exists and I could bring that engine here to be picked up, and I guess they're gonna pick it up tomorrow, and presumably I wait until they've got it back to get my refund. So I'll keep you posted on that. But on to the next challenge, back to square one. Where am I gonna get an engine for this thing?